Hi Cancer, welcome to Stardust Astrology. This is your monthly forecast for November 2016, and this is going to apply mostly if you have your Ascendant or Moon in Cancer. To a lesser degree your Sun is in Cancer, then this is going to apply more to your overall vitality and career. This can even apply if you have your Ruda Lagna in Cancer, in which case it will describe what the world around you perceives about you during this month. And even if you have your Atma Karaka in Cancer, in that case you're going to feel it very personally. Now, there is always this debate whether people are more affected by the transits to their Sun or the transits to their Moon. Apart from what I've just told you, this also depends on whether you were born during the daytime, in which case you will feel effects of transits to your Sun a bit more. If you were born during the nighttime, you're going to feel the effects on your Moon as well. And since you guys are Cancers, especially if you're a Cancer rising, please see where your Moon is placed and then go watch the video for that sign, because that's going to affect you as well. And generally women tend to be affected by the transits to their Moon more than men. Okay, when we take a look at your chart for November, the first thing that we can notice is that all of the planets are placed from just one side from the Rahu-Ketu axis. This axis for you guys now falls in your 2nd and your 8th house, and all of them are placed in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and very soon at the beginning of November Mars is going to move to your 7th house, which places more emphasis to your private life than to your public life. Now, when Mars moves into your 7th house on the 1st of November, there will be some happenings in your public life, but until then, everything was just much more things were going on in your private life. One more thing, all planets are direct, which means that now is the time to go do new things, not revise things from the past. There will be time later in the year to do that. And when all of the planets are placed from one side of Rahu-Ketu axis, it points to a certain imbalance. And imbalances are important because they make us do things because we're trying to regain that balance. When there is perfect balance, which is a very rare thing in the universe, it quickly gets disturbed, because perfect balance is actually nothingness. Nothing is happening, and we like when things are happening. Life does not support such stillness. Things have to be happening. So, unlike some other astrologers, I really think that imbalance is the natural state of the human life, and we just need to know how to use it. Now, starting from October the 17th, Sun has been transiting your 4th house, and when the Sun is transiting a house, it tends to illuminate whatever is happening in that house. You suddenly become aware of that house. Have you maybe forgotten to deal with the issues of this house? Was this house, meaning this area of your life, neglected? What has been happening there while you were focused on other things? Fourth house for you has to do with your sense of security and with your private life. Now, you being a Cancer, 4th house is an extremely important house for you guys, because this is the natural house of a Cancer in the Moon, and you guys like to have that peace at home, that balance in your private life, because that actually gives you the strength and support to go and do things in your life. When Sun is in the 4th house, We want our emotional peace, we want our comforts, we want to go after what feels good. It helps us gain our mental peace, it can show us how to do that. It also puts some emphasis on your family life and your home life, as well as your relationship with your mother. It can also point to those very close friends who support you, like a mother does, like the family does. Sometimes our friends can be more of the family than the real family, right? It also puts some emphasis to your literal house or apartment, the place where you live, a land if you own any land, real estate, vehicles as well. Also, your kitchen or any furniture that goes into the house. Also, your homeland, those people you have known for your whole life, and now. Since Suns has been putting emphasis on that area of your life, you're becoming aware of things that need to be done there, starting from the 17th of October. On the 30th of October, we have a new moon happening in this area, and it is going to affect at least some of these things that I was talking about, because wherever we have a new moon, this is a great place to start something new during the next, especially 14 days. You can see the developments throughout the month. Sometimes, depending on the aspects, this can last for 6 months, the thing that you start now in one of these areas. And wherever we have a new moon, it means that the sun and the moon come together in the sky, which we humans feel like our masculine and feminine energies coming together, and both of them are necessary to create a new life, to start something new in the area where this happens. Sun in Libra can be a bit problematic, though, because when Sun is in Libra, we become very dependent on what other people around us think about us, about their feedback, how do they treat us. At the same time, we tend to become a bit domineering in that area of life. So it could be that at this time you feel like the boss in your house, or that you are experiencing some kind of imbalances with the relationships with your family, because you want to negotiate certain things with some family members. You want to be fair, but at the same time you think you're the one who knows what is fair, and you don't want to compromise. Now, not wanting to compromise and needing other people to compromise with us can be a bit tricky, because other people, in this case your family members or your mother, may not like that very much. When the new moon happens in your 4th house, it can show new developments and, let's say, rectify the situation in the next period. Now, this moon, apart from happening in Libra, is also happening in the nakshatra called Swati. And Swati is simultaneously ruled by the Venus, which is at this time in your 5th house, together with Saturn, and with Rahu, because Rahu rules Swati Nakshatra, and Rahu is in the 2nd house. This to me can show involvement of children in family matters, and again, family environment in family matters, because Rahu in the 2nd house can expand family, but it can also bring some troubles in your family environment. So it can also affect your money and your sense of security. And the nature of Swati Nakshatra is such that whatever starts this month may start at something unstable. This is not a very stable nakshatra to begin with, but it has a tendency to become stable over time, especially because the other planet which rules this is Venus, and Venus is sitting with Saturn, which denotes stability. Apart from being in Swati Nakshatra, this new moon is conjuncting Mercury, and Mercury for you guys rules houses 3 and 12. So let's see what will give you comfort and what is going to make you happy this month, because this is where you should put your focus this month. This is going to give you results. It's a good time for that now. If you focus on some other areas of your life, you may see that there is no progress there, right? Now, what would make you happy now is, first of all, spending time at home. Since Mercury, this is this little green guy in your 4th house together with the new moon, he also rules your 3rd house. So it can deal with your younger brothers or sisters. If you have them, they may come visit. Or you guys could be dealing with the matters of home together, or with your mother together. Since Mercury also rules the 12th house, and the 12th house is the house where we need to escape, need to rest. For Cancer people, this can be a bit difficult because your 12th house is ruled by the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is a dual sign. It's a mental sign, restless sign. So resting for you guys can be difficult a bit. However, the Swati Nakshatra, where this new moon is happening, is very supportive of breath control exercises like pranayama or doing yoga or something like that. So this month you could benefit from meditation or breath control exercises, especially with the influence of the 12th house and the 4th house. This is where you could find your peace, because this nakshatra tends to be a bit restless. It can give you a restless mind. Fourth house also rules your mind, but one fact that not everybody is aware of is that what controls your mind is your breathing pattern. If you learn how to breathe deeply, and if you're focused into inhale, exhale process, when you are following the breath to your body, when you know how to direct the breath in your body, the mind calms down, because it is practically impossible to control your breath and to think at the same time. To think, the mind cannot run around like crazy while you are doing those breathing exercises. Since Mercury also in the 3rd house can show your some of your friends, like your teammates, playmates, people who are equal to you in some sense, they could also come and visit you during this month. And for you guys who are trying to move house, this could be a good month, because Swati indicates movement, and 3rd house, where Jupiter is also sometimes active in the time when we move. So you have Jupiter in this house, which indicates movement. Mercury is ruling it, coming to your 4th house in the nakshatra, which supports movement. So it's very conducive if you want to change your location. If you want to sell your house or any kind of real estate during this month, even if you want to sell your car this month, I would go for internet advertisement, because Swati supports internet activities. This could also mean that you want to buy some new electronic equipment for your house. It will be a great month to do something like that. If you're in the mood to just relax and stay at home, it can be a great time for Netflix and chill at home, especially with your lover, because Venus, who also rules this nakshatra, is in the 5th house. If you're working from home, this can be the month when you do a lot of work over the internet, and it can be with strangers because Mercury also rules your 12th house, which has to deal with people who live in faraway countries. So you could be doing trade from home with some far distant countries. If you're living abroad, this could be the month when you decide to go visit your homeland, especially traveling on plane is supported this month because of Swati. And if this month getting pregnant would make you happy, this is possible because Rahu, who rules Swati, is in your second house. It can give expansion to your family environment, like adding new members to your family pack. And Venus, who rules the sign of Libra, is in the 5th house of children. Together with Saturn in Jyeshta Nakshatra, this is especially going to be supportive for people who are trying to conceive their first child. Now, since Venus, who rules this moon, is in the 5th house is second to the 4th, which means it supports whatever is happening in the 4th house. Together with Saturn, it can bring you something permanent. If you're working from home over the internet, it can bring you money, something that will tend to become like a stable income for you guys. For you guys who have children, this could be the month where you feel like a lot of your sense of security comes through your children. If you don't have children, if you're dating and you have lovers, then lovers could bring this sense of security to you. If you're into politics, this could be a great month to start new projects in your homeland. If you're into some kind of profession where you express your emotions through, let's say, poems or novels, this is the month where you can start something creative, which could bring you gains because the 5th house is activated and the 4th house, which is your emotional house, is activating. Being Cancer, you guys are very emotional anyhow, so you can be prone to these kinds of professions. For a lot of people, this could be redecorating something in your house. With the Venus in the 5th, it can be your child's room. With Saturn there, it could be that you're buying new furniture for your children. For your children's room, Venus and Saturn could even bring an architect to your house. And as I've already said, it is good to buy new electronic equipment for your house, be it TV or air condition or anything which is like high tech with a lot of buttons. It can be an electric stove or whatever, but Swati Nakshatra supports those electronic high tech stuff. Whatever it is going to be in these areas of the 4th house that we have just discussed, the best time to start these things will be between the 30th of October and the 14th of November, because on the 14th of November we have a full moon. It is going to throw the light on a completely different area of your life, and generally after the full moon the energies are slowing down, so it's not a good time to start something. If we start something after the full moon, these things tend to fizzle out quickly. They do not last as much as if you start them in the first 2 weeks of the new lunar cycle. And for you guys, being Cancerians, you probably tend to feel those lunar cycles a lot. It feels like several days before the new moon, the energies are pulling away. On the new moon, things are a bit unclear, but you're getting some ideas. You know, there is like an energetic vacuum, and the space is clearing up for you to be able to focus on the next area of your life during the next lunar cycle. During this lunar cycle, actually during the new moon, Mars was in the last degrees of Sagittarius, which means Mars was transiting Sagittarius for the past 6 weeks, adding a lot of, and you had to invest a lot of energy to the things that you every day. It is a typical situation of running around like crazy and, doing all those things that we have to do every day, which are not very fun, but we have to do them if we want to maintain the things that we have and that we want to keep. I'm talking about things like getting up from the bed, getting dressed, washing your teeth, going to the work, sitting on your computer, doing some, let's say, repetitive routine work, like something that you would do every day. For example, the report that you have to make every day, or some kind of activity that whatever your job involves, which is repetitive, a part of your job, but something that you have to do every day, also falls into the sixth house. And it's also the house of service. So whatever you have been doing in the past 6 weeks was probably something that would serve maybe a larger number of people or your clients. And at the time of this new moon in the fourth house, Mars is in the last degrees of Sagittarius, which means that you guys can be really sick of this and now wanting to spend some time in your home. But this Mars is going to move to your seventh house, which is Capricorn, on the 1st of November. And Mars is the planet which naturally rules your fifth house and your 10th house. So when it goes to the seventh house, this position can be great for business. If you're doing online business from home, if you're selling something from home, now there could be buyers coming. Also, if you're trying to sell your home or your car, there could be buyers appearing now. Most likely they would be male buyers, or if they are females, they would be very masculine, assertive women. This is also the time where you would want to be assertive in business. People you deal with could be very assertive towards you, authoritative, and this could even be a good time for promotion, especially around the 14th of November, when we will have a full moon in your 10th house of career and your social status, ruled by this Mars, who is in the 7th house. 7th house is 10th from 10th, and it is very often seen when people get promoted. But Mars in the 7th house can be troublesome for your private life, because it can bring quarrels with partner. A lot of this Martian fiery energies is invested in your partnerships. Now, being in the sign of Capricorn, this can help structure these fights into something constructive. And Mars in Capricorn rules your 5th house. Saturn, which rules your 7th house, is placed in the 5th house, which means that these guys are working together. This can be the case of tough romance, but the time when you guys also manage to do something, because these are productive positions. You could be putting a lot of energy and effort trying to change your partner, and your partner might not like that. So if you try to push the hearts towards them, they might push back towards you. This is something that you have to be aware of. And with Mars in the 7th house, those times when you start fighting a lot because you don't have enough sex. This could be one of those times. This energy can be very well directed into sexual activities, especially with the stellium in your 5th house and the new moon in the 4th house. If you guys want to make babies, make babies. Much more productive than trying to fight. Um, Also, if you have been dating someone casually, if you have had a new lover in the past year or two, which is a high probability because Saturn has been transiting Scorpio starting from November 2014, and when Saturn comes into Scorpio, um, all those casual dates, all those, romantic people you just want to have fun with, or your hookups, one night stands, they're out of the picture. Or if you continue that pattern, it can give you a lot of troubles. This is not a time for hookups, it's time for serious commitment, and it can at times seem dull, like I'm not having fun. This romance is too serious, right? But since it has been in your fifth house for the past 5 years, oh, sorry, not 5 years, in your fifth house for 2 years, you guys, I think, have gotten used to it and are getting a handle of the situation now. When Mars goes into the seventh house, you may want to make this a stable, a permanent commitment. This could be a supportive period for that, but again, I don't think it is going to come that easily. If you're talking about structuring your relationships, like, okay, I want to see you every day, I want to spend every Friday or every Sunday with you, I think we should move in together. There could be some power struggles around that. For you guys who are single, this could be getting into a relationship with someone from your work environment. With these kinds of position, it could be your superior, because Mars also rules your 10th house. And for you guys who are into something creative, working on some kind of creative project, this could be a great month to present it to the world and do business, actually. With that said, on the 17th of November, Venus, who rules houses 4 and 11 for you, moves into the 6th house, and this is not a very easy position for Venus, because apart from being in the 6th house, it will be a bit smashed between Saturn in the 5th and Mars in the 7th, and this is the kind of position that can bring a lot of stress. At this time, if you try to be diplomatic with your subordinates, or try to please your subordinates, it could be very hard. You could also have some problems with your female subordinates if you have them, or your female subordinates could have their own problems and therefore not be able to perform very well. Since the Venus rules your 4th house, this could be the time when you feel like there is no peace at home. You have to do something every day, and it's overwhelming. Since this Mars rules your 11th house, it could also indicate arguing with your friends, or some arguments at your work environment, in the team. If you have tenants, there could be some problems with your tenants in this period. Also, your mother could be going through some personal issues this month. If you're into some litigation process, especially around property, because Venus rules your 4th house, which is your property. When it goes to the 6th house, this is the house of litigation processes. It can bring a lot of stress. Some stronger planet in the 6th house would be able to cope with this stress much better, but Venus, she doesn't like to deal with that kind of stress. You will feel very sensitive about that. It could affect your well-being and your mental peace, so watch for your health. during November if something like this is happening, because apart from affecting your peace of mind and your well-being, for those of you guys who are prone to problems with heart or digestion problems, this is something that could be happening here. If you allow your immune system to drop very low, even anemia or fevers could be possible with this kind of position. So November can be a bit tricky for your health, especially the period from the 17th of November and then the next, let's say, 10 to 15 days until the end of November. This mess is over. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the full moon, which is going to happen in your 10th house in the nakshatra called Kritika. 10th house is the house of your social standing and your career and your reputation. When we have the full moon there, you will see some results, and if you're in the position of authority, you will be thrown at the spotlight at work. Now, Kritika supports such activities because this is a very assertive nakshatra. It is nakshatra of high achievers. So you guys will be feeling like that around this full moon on the 14th of November. Promotions are possible. High visibility at your workplace is possible. It is very possible that you will have to make some quick decisions which could help you get that promotion you want to get, or establish yourself at your workplace. But simultaneously there could be a lot of power struggles at work because your 5th house at this time is full. Sun has been transiting there since the 16th of November. Mercury has entered your 5th house from the 9th of November, which means that you will want to assert yourself, and simultaneously 5th being the 8th from the 10th, there could be a lot of power struggles at work. I think this will not come as a surprise to you because these power struggles have been possible since November 2014, since Saturn entered your 5th house. But now with both Mercury there and Sun there, they could intensify, and then there could be some there could be a moment when you really have to say what you want to say, and not in a very diplomatic manner, because Kritika is not a very diplomatic nakshatra. This is the nakshatra where you want to be assertive, where you want to say what you think and say it very directly, and some people can find this offensive. If you think that this will not bring you good, although I think it will bring you good, maybe people will think that you are a bit too assertive or maybe a bit of a control freak, but certainly it can bring you results. If not, the Sun in Libra can still help you bring some of that diplomacy into your conversations at work. Another thing that Kritika can do, it can split a company that you work for, or if it's your own company, for example, a business partnership, this could be the month where you guys decide to split. It could also split a sector where you work into 2 or 3 separate sectors, or it could split the department into several sectors, and you guys could take a part in this. After the 14th of November, things will start to calm down easily. There will still be a lot of everyday activities, a lot of work to do, but the culmination of one process is going to be over. Around the 14th of November, we are going to have the culmination, and then even if you continue working, doing business, getting into those power struggles, getting into litigation processes, or whatever is happening for you this month, it will not lead to any more culminations. The culminations are over around the middle of the month. Now the next lunar cycle is going to throw some light and start new developments in your 5th house, and the exact date when this is happening is November the 29th. So that's the start of our new lunar cycle, and I will see you guys before that. Until then, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you find it useful and make the most out of the energies which are at your disposal in November. Take care, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.